Oh, I just realized I have no lipstick on. How about that? So real quick, so I don't look dead. Hi guys, it's Tuesday. And now I have lipstick on, and that's much better. My hair is getting dyed next week. I cannot wait to see Antonio. I can't wait to see you on Tuesday, a week from today. Have one more week with gray hair, and then it'll be gone. Hi, Louise Edu. It's Tuesday. It's raining here in New York City, or it's overcast. It was raining before, so it's kind of yucky outside. If you're watching, please let me know you're here and say hello. Brian Farley, how are you? What's happening in Jersey? It's raining over there too. So I know that I have been a little absent the last couple days. So I apologize for that. It's been a little bit nutso in Why Am I Yelling land and personal land. But everything is okay, and we are moving forward with all kinds of great, fun, exciting stuff. Super excited about it. I hope that you can see this because I don't know what's happening. Okay, so hi everyone. Today's quote, it's luck month, right? It's March 7th today. And we're talking about luck all month at Why Am I Yelling? And today's quote that I have up on Instagram and in Facebook says, "Good luck is another name for tenacity of purpose." And the great Ralph Waldo Emerson said that quote, or said that line. And I feel like I'm talking a lot about making your own luck this month and working hard and creating your own destiny and fulfilling your dreams. And part of this is, when I want to relate it back to my kids, being afraid to do things and fear holding us back sometimes, or not even sometimes, a lot of times. Hold on. Sorry, I had to answer something. So I like to say to my kids, what are you afraid of? What is so big and scary out there that you're afraid of that's going to make you not want to do something? And I feel like the best way to show them to get over their fear is by you overcoming your own fear. And, showing your kids or showing the people in your life that you're not afraid to try a new thing, tackle a new adventure, learn a new language, travel, start a new job, quit a job. There are so many things that hold us back. And I think, the point of this is, especially to our kids, I want to be the first person to tell my kids, you can do whatever you want. As long as you work at it, as long as you put your mind to it, as long as you see it as your destiny or what you want to do next, you can do whatever you want. Work for it. You have to work for it. Nothing is going to come easy to us in this life, right? For a lot of us. We have to work for everything that we have, for everything that we want, for everything that we need. And a lot of times we have to work for educating other people, and we have to work for making people see things from our perspective, and we have to work for learning and educating ourselves. And I think that that's an important thing too, because it's a two-way thing, right? Every relationship that you have, there's conversation, there's discussion, there's debate, there's agreement, there's all these things. And it doesn't matter if it's with your person who you're with for the rest of your life, or with a friend, or with a parent, or with a child. It's pretty much straight across the board the same when it comes to communicating. Like, you have to be able to get out there and voice your opinion and voice your knowledge, and educate and be educated. So I was having this conversation recently. I'm having a lot of conversations recently about living your life to your fullest. and making your dreams happen and doing all those kinds of things. Because I'm in the middle of doing that for myself, right? You guys all know my journey. I quit my job. I started my own business. I just finished writing a book. I've got all kinds of exciting things coming in April that I can't tell you about just yet. But on April 1st, there's going to be lots of fun announcements. So I'm living proof that you have to get over your fear. Like if you let fear hold you back, you're never going to do anything. You're never going to get off your couch. You're never going to get on a plane and go to the next place. You're never going to experience a relationship that you never thought that you could have, even though you probably could have. So to be an example to my kids is the most important thing for me. And I think the same thing for Will. It's like, don't be afraid to do something. So what if you fail? Like failure isn't a bad thing necessarily. We all fail. We fail at relationships. We fail at jobs. We fail at school. We fail whatever. We fail probably more times than we succeed is how often that we fail. And a lot of times you don't even think of it as a failure because it's just life and it's just the way it works and just how it kind of goes. So taking that failure and learning from it is something we typically do. And a lot of times we don't even realize we're doing it because the failure could be so small. Oh, I put too much salt in the recipe last time, so this time I'm not going to put that much salt in it. You just learn from that experience. You learn from that failure. So looking at your failures as an opportunity to grow and as an opportunity to make yourself better from that experience is part of facing your fear. And once you get over that and you're comfortable enough with the person that you are and the person that you want the world to know, who is absolutely the same person. Oh, by the way, like I'm very much this out there. Like there's really no difference in who I am other than a little bit of makeup. Overcoming your fear is something that, it's a choice. And I talk to my kids about this all the time. I tell them every day, make good choices. Thanks to my friend Kathy. But, the life that you choose to lead is 100% yours. It's all yours. You make the choices that you make. You make the bad choices and you make the good choices. And you have to live with the consequences of your choices if they're the bad ones or the good ones. It doesn't matter. You're the controller of your destiny. You are the controller. You have the keys in your hand to where you want your life to go. And for me, it's an invaluable lesson because I have watched a lot of people make questionable choices in their lives. And when you're watching someone make a questionable choice and you try to guide them or educate them or help them and they don't want the help, it's frustrating. And it's frustrating. That's the best way I can explain it, right? It's frustrating. It's like, oh my gosh, if this person would just do this, all these things could change for them. Or if they would just try this and not be afraid, hi Bagone, then all of these things could happen for them. And they just don't see it. And a lot of times it's easier for us to see it from outside looking in than the person that's experiencing the situation that they're in. I've had people say to me, oh, you should do this. And sometimes those thoughts never even occurred to me. And so it's like, oh, hey, great. Thanks for the information. Thanks for letting me know. Thanks for the constructive criticism. Thank you. But you have to be able to take all of these things in stride. And you have to be able to take these kinds of conversations to heart and to your gut. And you have to be able to have the capacity to listen and to appreciate. Because most of the time, people who are trying to reach out to you to help you or educate you or have a conversation with you are not doing it out of malice. They really are doing it because they want to help. Most people I know are helpful people and they're smart people. I like to think that everybody I hang out with is smart. So when it comes to overcoming your fear and things that are holding you back, if you can't see it for yourself and you really want to try to, travel or quit your job and get a new one or update your resume or, fix a broken relationship, whatever it is that you're trying to do, maybe ask for guidance. Maybe ask for someone else's opinion. Maybe ask for counsel. Because a lot of times you might not want to hear what those people have to say, but you might need to hear it. They might need to be the words. And don't be afraid to offer opinions. I mean, don't just blurt it out. Just be like, hey, can I offer my opinion? Hey, can I tell you this? Hey, I've been noticing this. Because a lot of times it will be received with an open mind. And if it's not, then, hey, you tried and you did your best, and that's all anybody has ever asked of you, right? I say that to my kids too. As long as you try to do your best, then that's all I can ask of you. I can't ask you to be any better than you already are. I can ask you to study for your test because that's just what logic tells me to say. I can ask you to try to be a little bit nicer or kinder to your brother because I'm tired of listening to the two of you argue and fight in the house. I can ask you to do things out of compassion and kindness. And you can either listen to me or not. And those are the choices that you make as your person responsible for yourself. The only person who is responsible for you is you. Period. End of story. And I know I've said this like 100 bazillion times, but it's the truth. Yes, we raise our children, and yes, we're responsible for our children, but ultimately, our kids have been making decisions for themselves since they were babies. When they're hungry, when they're this, when they're that, when they want something, when they don't want something, they're voicing their opinion to you. So our kids, basically since birth, have had some type of independence. Whether or not we want to admit that is up to you. Overcoming your fear of raising your kids, overcoming your fear of getting sick one day, overcoming your fear of flying. That's all stuff that you have to deal with on a level that is yours and yours alone. But asking for guidance and asking for other people's opinions, I always find is helpful to me when I'm faced with a challenge. I'm not really afraid of anything. And that's the truth. Like if you ask me what I'm afraid of, I'm really not afraid of anything. I'm afraid of my kids getting sick, like terminally sick. But I'm not afraid of it in the way that, oh my God, I worry about it and one day it might happen. Like that would be like my biggest fear. I'm not afraid of anything else. I'm not afraid of walking down the street. I'm not afraid of walking across the street. I'm not afraid of dying. Not afraid of that either. But that's because I live. And there's a very big difference. And I said this a couple of weeks ago, my new favorite quote: don't have the same year 75 times and call it a life. I have always been this way. Yeah, because I'm crazy. Yeah, I've always been adventurous. I've always wanted to know what's on the other side of the hill. I've always wanted to know what's on the other side of the plane ride. That's just my personality. And I know that a lot of people are not like that. But I think if you find a way to overcome that, your life just opens up and your vision expands and your opportunities increase and you meet people that you probably never would have met in your life if you had just stayed on the couch, and you expose yourself to culture and, education and meeting things and doing things and experiencing things. And that, I said to Will the other night, it was just his birthday and he turned 45. And I feel like, every 5 years it's a big birthday, especially now. Because it's like, my friend Maria was like, oh, he's halfway to 90. I was like, I'll be sure to tell him that. I'm sure he knows. But, when we first got married, we decided that every year for our anniversary, instead of buying ourselves big gifts, we would have an experience. And so we traveled for the first several years of our marriage before we had kids. And even after we had Wyatt, we wanted to have experiences instead of buying another toy or another, jacket or another piece of jewelry or another whatever it was, until we, until always, we still want to have experiences. I mean, things have changed because now we have 2 kids and, school is different and we have schedules and all that stuff. But there's always a quest or a thirst for adventure in our house. And I love it because I think that, it expands the mind, and it improves, our education, and it makes us better people to have an understanding of other places and other cultures and see the world and do really wonderful, great things. And I've never been afraid of that. I've never been afraid of traveling on my own. I'm not afraid of things. But I get why people are. I get why people are, they get stuck. And my point is, you don't have to be. You don't have to be stuck. You can reach out to people who will help you. You can talk to a friend who's really going to listen to you and give you their honest opinion, but you have to be ready to hear that opinion. And you have to embrace it and understand it and listen to it and hear their thoughts and their processes and have them help you along the way, whether that be a parent, whether that be a child, whether that be a spouse, a good friend, a coworker, somebody you feel like you can confide in to help you get over or through the fear that you have. And even when it comes to talking to our kids, I'm afraid to get on this. I don't like roller coasters. I will tell you that. I'm kind of afraid of roller coasters. The whole idea of being upside down in a thing, that freaks me out. So I don't do them. But if I had to get on one, I could make that happen. I'm not that afraid of them. I just think they're silly. I'd rather be on some other weird game ride. So it's like, you tell your kids, don't be afraid to fail. Don't be afraid to have a bad game. Don't be afraid to stand up for yourself in front of your friends when you see something that you don't agree with or that you think is not the right thing to do. Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid to do those things. Don't be afraid to live your life. Don't be afraid to sometimes make it depends on the choice, right? Don't go out and start doing bad things because you're not afraid of it. But make good choices and think before you speak, because words hurt, and think because you act, because people remember things, especially women. We have an uncanny way of remembering everything. And I'm sure our husbands really appreciate that about us. So that's my point. My point is, we are the rulers of our own destiny, and we hold the keys to all of the choices that we make. And whether or not we're afraid to do something it kind of seems a little bit silly to me. And I get that anxiety is a thing, and I get that I have experienced it myself. I get anxious about things too, but I've always found a way to power through it, or I've always found a person to go to for counsel or conversation or talk to Will or somebody that makes more sense than I do sometimes. So what is your biggest fear? Because I'm interested to know these things. I want to know what people are afraid of. Are you afraid to fly? Are you afraid to leave a relationship that's unhealthy? Are you afraid to try a new sport? Are you afraid? What are you afraid of? So that's your homework, because I have to jump off here because I have a call at 3:45 that I have to get ready for. But I want you guys to think about this. I want to know what is your fear and what's holding you back from whatever it is that you want to do in this life. Hit me up in the comments after this is over. I will be checking back through the evening. I'm having an amazing dinner tonight with my former boss and coworker. I'm super excited, heading into the city in a little while. Hi, Jeff Yanover. Thank you. So I'm going to go in for some drinks and some dinner and see the girls tonight, which is why I have lipstick on. No, I have lipstick on because I have lipstick on for this video. So I'll see you guys back here tomorrow. Tomorrow's Wednesday, right? Yeah. So I'll see you guys back here tomorrow. Or not. I might have to skip it. I think I might be in Jersey tomorrow. So that's it. So I love you guys. Thank you for watching. Tell me what your biggest fear is, and let me know if I can help you in any way, shape, or form get through it, over it, around it, or embrace it. Mwah! I love you guys so much, and we'll see you back here tomorrow or Thursday. Bye. Mwah.